Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man, check this out. I mean, let's just be honest, and I'm gonna just say some real shit. And before I say what I need to say, I'm gonna make this very clear. If you don't, you know what I'm saying. If you don't like what I have to say, and if you try to switch the subject, then try to bring up other people, your ass gonna be blocked. We sticking to the subject matter. I don't want to hear about, well, what about this dude? I don't want to hear about nobody else. If, I mean, it's like this. If you don't do what I asked of you to do on this video, then you showing me you want to get blocked. And you not really about having a real conversation or a real, discussion about boxing. Okay? For real. Because I want to make this very clear. As I said before on my channel, I don't follow no script. Okay? I don't cater to no demographic. Okay? I don't watch what I say about Mexican fighters and basically tread water because I want Mexican fight fans or so-called Mexican fight fans to come on my channel and bigging me up because I'm sitting up praising a fighter, that look like them. You get the credit when you deserve the credit. Okay? I don't do that with Mexican fighters, Asian fighters, white fighters, even black fighters. I call it right down the middle. I'm fair as it can be. I call a circle circle. I call a square square. I call a triangle triangle. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I roll. If you not okay with that, if you want to go to some of them watered down boxing content channels that sit up there and suck up certain demographics because they want views, then go to them. I want to make this very clear. I'm not certain bug-eyed niggas that love putting on minstrel shows on their channel. I'm not that Howard Hewitt looking nigga. I'm not that dope fiend looking nigga. You know, I'm not those channels. Okay. I don't use special effects and I don't use clapping sounds and all that kind of stuff to get views. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just me. Now, with all that being said, let me begin. Real talk. How impressed was you with Canelo's victory over Caleb Smith? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Caleb Smith was an undefeated fighter. But you look at, you look at the way Caleb Smith fought. Like Demetrius Andrade said, he did not come there to win that fight. But at the end of the day, he made sure he didn't get stopped. It just seemed to be something strange when you just watch Canelo fight. I saw Caleb Smith just miss tons of opportunity. At the end of the day, I'm just being honest with you. I don't think Canelo's power is what they make it out to be. Because at the end of the day, he didn't do that type of damage to Cotto. He didn't do that type of damage to Sugar Shane Mosley. I just think, after watching the Caleb Smith fight, I'm just more than certain that the Sergey Kovalov fight was fixed. Okay, I'm sorry, and many professional boxers said it too. So, at the end of the day, once again, you bring up any other boxer besides Canelo, your ass is blocked. Like I said, I don't do this shit. I don't go back and forth. You sticking to the subject. If you can't stick to the subject, once again, keep your ass off my channel. But you look at Caleb Smith, like I said, Canelo always beats those type of dudes. I look at the Sergey Kovalev fight, and Chris Mannix had Canelo up against Sergey Kovalev. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If you think Canelo was winning that fight up until the stoppage, wow, you just really in denial. Okay. Canelo was really being bothered by Sergey Kovalev jab. Okay. And when Sergey Kovalev actually hit Canelo, I see something with Canelo too that Canelo still does. He freezes sometimes when you hit him. Watch the Caleb Smith fight again. I noticed that when I mean, when Caleb Smith, not Caleb, Caleb Smith would hit Canelo flush with an uppercut, Canelo would pause, which means, like I said, a combination fighter or a very crafty fighter with good footwork and some power is going to bother Canelo. This is why I'm saying Charlo is going to be a very difficult fight for Canelo. And I understand why Canelo don't want to fight him. At the end of the day, I'm just not impressed with seeing Canelo fight these type of dudes. The dudes he should have been fighting, Demetrius Andrade and Charlo, he's avoided those dudes. The Demetrius Andrade fight should have been very easy to make. We understand the politics with Charlo, but Canelo is supposed to be a promotional free agent. Now, who Canelo fights next is going to be very interesting. You know, Caleb Plant got a fight next month. If Caleb Plant looks impressive, then once again, you need to start pushing for a Caleb Plant fight, in which, by the way, I think Caleb Plant is going to be a very difficult fight for Canelo. I think David Benavidez is going to be a difficult fight for Canelo, because one thing about David Benavidez, he can let his hands fly like anybody else's. And he is a very good offensive fighter. So I think those are two fights that Canelo is going to have problems with for sure if they get made. And for people to say, well, you know, Demetrius Andrade said he didn't want to fight Canelo, man. Okay, so what's the excuse for Canelo not fighting Demetrius Andrade earlier this year or last year, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that? Excuses, excuses, excuses. When Demetrius Andrade got stripped of his belt, I think because of inactivity, if I'm not mistaken, Canelo fought for that belt. You know, I don't feel like going back in time, doing fact checks, but I believe that Canelo fought for that belt when it was vacant or when it was awarded to somebody else, because that's how Canelo get down. Canelo circles the wagon. Am I saying he's a cherry picker? Yeah. Canelo fights certain type of fighters. Daniel Jacobs got solid hand speed, but he's not a mobile fighter. Demetrius Andrade is a mobile, slick fighter. Jamal Charlo has solid footwork, but he's strong as hell. And he hits hard as hell. And I think he could overpower Canelo. And then Jamal may have even more power at 168 versus 160. So you never know. I don't think Canelo can knock Charlo out. Charlo has been nailed before. Both of the Charlo brothers have shown to have decent chins. So Canelo has been circling the wagon, maneuvering around certain fighters, certain type of styles. That's factual. You can't dispute that. We all expected him to beat Caleb Smith. So it comes to no surprise. So like I said before, Canelo just been circling the wagon. I mean, he won, but I sat up there like, okay, well, we expected you to beat this dude. We didn't expect an upset. We want to actually see Canelo in a fight that he has a chance of losing. You know, let's just keep it 100. You know, the 4 fights that Canelo has a chance of losing, he's elected not to take those fights. And then for him to say that bullshit about he don't want to fight any more Mexican fighters, that's horrible. That ain't no different from me having an issue with Floyd not wanting to give any black fighters a payday. At the end of the day, it's cool to have, you know, a black and brown fight occasionally, but at the end of the day, ain't nothing wrong with brothers fighting brothers too. And it seemed like boxing is steadily trying to get away from that, or should I say, certain promotional companies, where the big fights ain't brothers versus brothers. So I'm just keeping it 100. Needed to be said. Anyway, this your boy Town Biz. I'm out.